Alright everybody, welcome in. This is a Stormgate cast and I'm Algorithmore. And today's match will be featuring... Chat has me hostage. This is Smile. I knew I recognized the name, I forgot which streamer it was. It is Smile, who apparently has a bit of a bounty going on his stream right now. If you give some subs, then that means he has to play more games. And that's why he's hostage. He apparently has more games that he has to play than he started with right now. So he'll be playing for a long time and we'll get to see some more games of his very likely, because I stole this game off of his untapped.gg, where all the games he's playing for his chat have been made available. So thank you, Smile, for that. But his opponent here in the red, playing the Celestial faction, is none other than Dale Cooper, who is the newest star in the Stormgate world, tearing up the ladder, proving that Celestials are not a dead faction, that you can kill Infernals. I wish I had a good replay I could show you in that regard. But these are the ones I found. Like I said, I couldn't find Dale Cooper's replays himself. They are not public, but Smile's were. And I noticed that Smile had played a few games with Dale. Now, here's something I can tell you. This is Dale Cooper's first game. This is the first game that he played as Celestial. At least he had played some Vanguard, and he's also very good at Vanguard, Mr. Cooper. But this will be his first. This was the first game I could find. It's only from a few days ago. I wish I could tell you exactly which day. Maybe I will do so. Let's see if I can check that out. This was only 3 days ago. 3 days ago on the ladder. So Dale Cooper's been tearing things up. That seems even more recent than I thought. I thought I had cast a game 3 days ago, or earlier than him, but maybe I was wrong about that. So we'll see how this first game went for him. We have 3 racks out right now for Smile. He does have Kinetic Redirect on the way, and he's got 3 Lancers out. And our friend over here, Dale, has 4 Argents. 5th one out. He's on 3 Chambers, but does have the Legion Hall and is producing Seraphim, which has been a go-to build for Celestials in this patch, in both this matchup and versus Infernals. But at the moment, it is Argents just going scooty-scoot across the map. One Argent little later didn't realize, ooh, but we've got a little kite battle going on. 1 Lancer goes down. And the Argents go and take the speedy camp while they wait for a few more Argents to show up. And it looks like Smile has responded with a flat cannon here. He's sending units to go mine Therium. So Exo's out, it looks like maybe just for defense, or maybe he's switching to Exotech now. Yeah, it looks like he is. And the Argents took the speed camp, but have come back over here. What else is Dale up to? He's built 2nd base, 3rd base, sorry, up to tier 2. I didn't see, where are they're the Seraphim. So a lot of map control from Dale to start. And Smile just sees that the Vision Camp was taken. It looked like he was going to go for it, but then changed his mind and backed away. Meanwhile, Seraphim doing what they do. That's creep. There's very possibly going to be a redesign for them next week. Given that creeps are going to be redesigned. Maybe Seraphim's role will not need to be changed, but right now they are largely creepers. And early game harass, I guess. Vision camp gonna get taken by a single Lancer. The Seraphim took the Luminite camp. Argent's over here going for the other one. And Dale's doing a great job of being on his creeping, keeping the camps. But Smile is also trying to get out on the map. Unfortunately, the Seraphim are in his backyard and looking to do some damage. They're going for some Ethereum miners. No, they're going for some Luminite miners. Right in the mines. And Smile, unfortunately, is out on the map. Yeah, the sentry post gets taken out right away. And another Seraphim shows up. This is strong harass right now. Quickly building a hangar bay. A bunch of servos go down to it. Of course, a Hornet could pop out, and that would be good defense here. But Smile has instead decided to, he was already out of position. Not going to run home and chase Seraphim around for a few minutes. Instead, puts some defenses up and just tries to recover from the harass. The Seraphim are doing a great job here, but now it is Smile trying to make something happen. He says, I'm going to go into your base. If you got Seraphim in my base, but I think this is the secret of Dale's build. He says, my base is full of Argents, so like, come on. This is basically a defensive build from Dale is how I'm seeing this. He's barely moved out, creeped with his Seraphim, and has kept his Argents largely at home to defend the exact possibility that occurred, which was for Smile to choose to move across the map. And that just allowed him to get even more servo kills, killed so many servos, I wish we could count those up. But we're going to, look, they're one-shotting servos basically. Maybe that one servo was weak, but going to try and take out the sentry post too. And now Smile's just come back home. Yeah, you need to grab some of those exos and use them to defend here. So he has boxed them off and sent them over here. Gonna throw one in there. Boom, flat cannon. That's good. That's gonna kill a Seraphim or two. Oh, good target fire there from Smile. And he does have a good number of exos. Flat cannon here has been there since the beginning. Actually, that looks like a new one. The original one was over here. And Argent's and Kree. Ooh, Cabal's added. I like this from Dale. Flat cannon on the high ground can get targeting onto these units. But they find a nice positioning so that they're out of range of the flat cannon. And interesting how his army split up. I wonder if that was intentional or just the pathing. Grabs the vision tower while also granting vision of his units. And the Seraphim here still trying to be annoying. I don't even know if a Hornet popped out of there, but it would be useful if there was one. But we have our battle at the front line here. Kree on top of Lancers. Lancers going down faster. Kree getting on top of Exos. Argent's pushing forward. We have a few Cabal in there. I wonder what that's for. Just debilitates. I'm not sure. Argents are winning the day here. A few more Lancers show up from the production. But the Argents have stayed largely alive. And now it's just Argent control to make sure that there's almost no damage being taken. And that's going to be GG from Smile. Alright, let's get back in it. It's going to be a second one here from these two. This is going to be Smile. And the Phenom. Who is he? Do you know? Let me know if you do. It's Dale Cooper. I mean, who is he? He's Dale. What are we talking about? He's obviously Dale. Who would use any name other than their own? Other than chat has me hostage. But I'll for now assume that this is Dale. And this is not Dale's second match. As I said, the earlier one was his first match, at least on the ladder, under this nick. This was Dale's 23rd match. At this point in Dale's career, Dale was 20-2. 20-2. I think current record is something more like 80-4. Maybe even better than that. So what that does mean is that Dale lost 2 games within the first 22, and then only lost 2 more in the next 60 or so. So very, very skillful Celestial player here, who has gone for a second base here and a creation. I think this is fairly standard opening. Maybe I should pay a little bit better attention now. But we have a fully saturated on the main. We're now producing prisms for the second base. Second base is up in mining. And we use a purifier to get an extra prism. But that prism has been on Therium. It wasn't rallied to mining at the Luminite. Another Morph Core out for another creation, I'm guessing. And Argent's coming out pretty quickly. And this is an interesting, this is something that I'm really liking about these Dale Cooper games, is that a lot of other Celestial players right now feel that Argents are just not that strong, and that maybe a better opening is to skip them all together and go right into Seraphim, which has been the play. But what we're noticing from Dale is he's not saying Seraphim aren't good and that's not the way to play. But there's no need to rush right into them. The Argents are used, as we see right now, to creep, which is obviously helpful until you get those Seraphim out. And they're a great defensive tool. So if your opponent shows up with some early aggression, you've got 4 or 5 Argents out when they're not expecting it. They're expecting you to have to spend your Sovereign's Watch or something to defend. Usually that's the goal of those early pushes, is to force you to spend some power, but now you've got some Argents, and you're just slowed down maybe a little bit in your Seraphim, but maybe not even too much, as you've already captured this this first camp. We are seeing our first Seraphim out, while Smile is out here with 6, it looks like 6 Lancers capturing that camp. And we see Dale Cooper is pretty much in lockstep from creeping, just a smidge behind. And as soon as Seraphim are on the map, that smidge is going to start being deleted. There's our first one, going straight for Luminite. Actually, I lied. Going straight across the map. Going straight for Therium miners is my guess. Seraphim shows up. First servo goes down. With only one Seraphim there, it takes a while. They're going to speed build this sentry post, which should chase the Seraphim away for now. But does get another kill. And they just reposition the new Seraphim. Ooh, Flak Cannon makes that way more dangerous. Another sentry post going down for Smile. Can he get that turned into a Flak Cannon too? Seraphim decide to go capture some towers instead of risking themselves against those Flak Cannons while they regroup and wait for more. And Argent's still creeping. And this is interesting too. I think this speaks a little bit to the game sense of Dale, which is through the vision that he was afforded from the Seraphim. Where did those Seraphim go? Oh, they're in the center of the map creeping. But through the vision he was able to get, he kind of got a spot. Well, what kind of army does he have? Where is his army? And now he's got these control around the map, meaning that his Argents feel comfortable. Often Argents you feel are a little vulnerable. They're slower than some of the other factions units, and if you can get caught out on the map, you can be in trouble. But if you know that you're not being caught because you know where your opponent's army is, or you know what state they're at in their tech, etc., then you can be more confident. And I've been seeing that confidence in the movements of Dale with his Argents in the few games that I've cast so far. Again, Argent's just moving around. Did I see Cabals? Yes, I did. Now, he's got most of control of the whole map in terms of the towers. So is this an aggressive push? I'm not certain yet. This might be bait right now. And it looks like Smile might be falling for it if this is indeed bait. Smile decides to move back. Oh no, he's chasing this Seraphim. And okay, these Argents were looking for a third base here. They don't find it. And Dale chooses to retreat. Basically saying, I'm on 3 bases. My opponent's on 2. Now, there's a risk in that situation often. You don't know where you're at. Now, we know that Dale's actually quite a bit ahead. But if your opponent's on 2 and you're on 3, the risk is that maybe they've built up a big army and they're coming to kill you. But we know that's not the case here for Smile. In fact, it was the opposite. All that servo harass kind of got him stuck in his base. And now he's moving out. This looks like a push because he's dragging behind him the parade of reinforcements. Captures El Speedo camp. Seraphim once again being annoying, and Smile's going to come back. And I think this is part of the role of these units, is to keep you in your base. If you are going to move out, maybe try and get some damage done on the other side of the map and force Dale to come back to you with his Seraphims. Now, of course, we saw that in the first match. And waiting for you back home is this noise, this big ball. So that's not necessarily going to work out for Smile. In fact, we now see a 100 supply lead for Dale. It's the 8-minute mark. And Dale's at 223. And Smile looks like he might be trying to get something done. He's going to harass this array and get it. Exos are pretty good in that role. And those few Argents taking pot shots as they run by. One Lancer going down to the low ground. Is that just a scout, or what are you doing, buddy? That's not where you want to get trapped. You're just going to die there. Smile brought a servo to chop down some trees. This could be bad news. Okay, he is creeping here, but this could be bad if Dale somehow catches Smile out of position here. This is not bad, actually. Smile can have a pretty good engage here. He does get some free units, basically. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, the bait. The bait. Oh, this is so crit. Oh, I love this. Dale did this on purpose. He saw this coming. This is what I thought was happening. Oh my goodness, what a brilliant play to bait the units in there and then get them in the pincer. Now, what's not brilliant is he's got to move his units in. You can't just have them standing there in the choke. But there we go. It's a GG from Smile.